Dr. Mark Lamont Hill is in the house. We are short on time. I'm going to throw you this question as the scholar on the stage. Let me ask you this. Put in context for us, if you can briefly, what it means to be someone who is active and organized and protesting and resisting on the Black Liberation Front and the Palestinian Liberation Front in American history. Because something I said recently, and I'd love for you to expand on this, is we've seen this before, right? None of this is new. Students being demonized, the left being demonized, people being told you're anti the country. Like, this is what happened. Martin Luther King was not a popular guy when he was alive.
He was not.
So pick up from there if you can. Give us some context, because you're someone at the heart of all this.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And by the way, greetings, everybody. My deepest apologies. I was coming from New York and the train broke down. So I just, Amtrak be on that. So, but it's a wonderful question, and it's a wonderful question against the backdrop of the people on this panel, because everybody on this stage has paid a price. Everybody on this stage has taken a risk. Everyone has articulated an ethic of risk and then performed it in a way that mattered. It's easy to talk heavy when nothing is at stake. But when something's at stake, then you see what's really what people are about. And there's a long history of Black people standing in solidarity, not just with Palestine, but more fundamentally, Black people standing on the right side of history in an effort to produce justice. Black people have believed in justice. We have invested in justice. We have believed in America's democratic promises, even at the moments where they were the most unattainable, unimaginable, and implausible. You know, we still fought for a world that we would not even see. And over time, what we began to recognize is that the liberation movement, which we recognize, the desire to be free from violence, the desire to be free from a state or a community or a world that hates you. Who has been more despised than African people? Right? We saw that and we recognized, but we also understood that having liberated yourself from oppression does not give you a license to then oppress others. Right? And you can see that now. Look at how South Africa responds to Israel versus how Germany responds to Israel. We both have deep wounds. The Black Muslim community has never been given the full credit or had the full debt paid. One, for creating, for opening up Islam in America, but also for creating a different vision of what the international community could look like. It wasn't about Black Palestinian solidarity, it was about internationalism. It was about a recognition that our liberation is bound up in the liberation of others around the globe. Malcolm was there in 59 before he was there in 64. He saw Gaza, he saw Jerusalem, he understood that. And he understood what it meant to say, we are not just part of we're not minorities. When he's writing on Zionist logic, he's acknowledging that Zionism, before 67, he's acknowledging that Zionism is a problem, not because there's an issue with cultural Zionism, not because there's an issue with Jewishness, not because there's an issue with the cultural diaspora, but because this particular version of Zionism, political Zionism, is an ethno-national, settler colonial, apartheid movement that is dependent upon the expulsion and the erasure and the dispossession of Palestinian people. And I ain't scared to say it. They try to tell you King was a Zionist. King wasn't no Zionist. But by the end, what did King say? He said, I'm not going back to the Holy Land. I don't want my name signed to that thing. He said, I think that Israel has grown arrogant and unyielding. He said, they took Jerusalem and I'm not sure they'll ever get it back. That was in 68. It is now 2024. And they still have not given back East Jerusalem. So when we look at this moment, with these people in this room, we are not alone. And so at this juncture in history, we no longer need to be afraid. There are too many of us to be afraid. We no longer need to lie. We ain't got to tell people that the president's working night and day to get a ceasefire, but we're going to still keep sending money and weapons and giving UN Security Council protection. Stop it. Tell the truth. Stand up for freedom. Stand on business like Dr. King or somebody said. And then do the work of liberation. Because until Palestine is free, until Sudan is free, until Congo is free, until Haiti is free, then not one single one of us in this room is free. Free Palestine from the river to the motherfucking sea.